I wonder how long does it ring for? A minute?
It's probably gonna be 12 bells.
Probably gonna be what?
12 bells for 12 o'clock.
Oh, it rings based on the number that it's on?
Yeah.
I should have counted. All right, I'm ready. The trigger episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yo.
Hey, man.
Welcome back to the Mark Hours podcast. What's good with you, Chen?
Not much. Life is good.
Life is good right now. It's raining. It's ice rain outside. So I don't know why I felt like a radio DJ. I wanted to be like,
it's ice rain outside, so be careful while y'all are on the roads. But it's a podcast.
not radio.
Yeah, it's been a snowy week.
Yeah,
It snowed twice.
but that snow was weak though.
Huh?
It was weak, bro.
What? How was it weak?
Because I was awake when it started and when it started to stick,
Uh-huh.
and then when I woke up, it was like clear.
Really?
Well, at least my lot was clear,
Okay.
and the main roads was clear. So that's why I was like, "Was it clear?"
No, it was clear after the day after, but
Now I ain't gonna hold you. It's cold now.
Yeah.
Like it's winter cold now, but the snow hasn't really been a problem. This is what I'm actually afraid of, like ice. Like I don't want to be driving and with people on the road with ice, because you can't really trust other people while they're driving, because people drive like they're scared or whatever.
Yeah, January is usually the when real winter begins, man. And you always think like, okay, it's the end of December, winter is over, but no, winter is just beginning. And I hate it every time.
Really? Do you hate winter?
I hate winter. Like I don't like it. The only thing I like about it is seeing the snow out inside my house.
But you don't like being
I
cold.
don't like being outside in the snow. I don't like sledding. I don't like ice skating. There's nothing about winter I like.
But you would move to a place where it doesn't snow, though.
Mm-hmm. I would.
So how do you like snow?
I don't. Oh, I like seeing it, but it's like saying, you like, I don't know, Coke?
What?
Coca-Cola?
Oh, okay.
You like Coca-Cola?
It's cool.
Exactly. Snow is cool.
So basically,
I'm not like, let me get a Coke. Like, no, I'm not like.
So basically, it's like the option that you would take if you was given no option. Like if you had to move somewhere that have
no
earthquakes,
windows,
that have earthquakes, that have tornadoes, that have those
I'm
type
taking
of
snow.
You like, I'll just take snow.
Yeah.
But you're not looking. You're not ever looking.
Never looking.
That's how I feel at a restaurant. Whenever I go to like a restaurant, and let's say I take my girl, or let's say we go somewhere, and it's not like Applebee's. It's not like one of those chains. So I asked them, hey, do y'all have any free refills on anything? Because I don't want to pay every time I'm thirsty. And they say, yeah, on Coke products. I'll be like, oh, okay, can I have a Sprite? Don't have that. Like, Sprite is one of the main Coke products. So that's how I end up always saying, just give me a Coke.
Yeah.
So I see exactly what you mean when
it's just, if it's there, I take it.
Yeah.
But
other than that, man, I had a very interesting week. And I started a new position within my company.
That's good.
And things like that, which is going to pay me more, which I didn't know. So
that's dope.
Yeah, I didn't know until I talked to HR, and because I was like, my check looked weird this week, and it was like, oh, because you was working this shift, but normally you work that shift, and that shift pays more than that shift. So I was like, oh, I thought y'all was robbing me, but
okay.
But they wasn't. I was just like, oh, this position's new, this schedule is new, but everything's a blessing, man. So what's on your mind to talk about today?
Not much, man. I kind of want to talk about. Oh, before we begin,
what's up?
Yo, writing goals with your girl, A1, son.
Really?
Man, that's the we got.
Blair, I owe you a vision board. I know last episode I said I'm gonna do a vision board. Mm-hmm. The vision board haven't been done.
It's all good. We didn't do one yet. But we did write our goals down.
Okay.
That was dope. So we have a plan for the year.
Okay.
It's kind of new. The relationship was kind of new, so it was kind of awkward because we was looking at a bunch of videos. It's like, you should have 5-year plans, and we was like, let's just start with 1 year. Let's just start with 1 year. We get through this year, and then we could do 5 years next time. But that was dope. But yeah, as far as what's on my mind, man, triggers, man.
Triggers,
man.
You triggered?
You got triggers?
I don't think I do.
I think you call me the N-word, that might trigger me. But I won't let you know.
If I call you,
not you.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say I didn't know. Oh, you talk about the.
I might get triggered like you, but mostly because it's like, damn, he think I'm soft.
Well, but how do we define triggers? Because there's things I don't like, but it's not like a. Is that the definition of trigger? Things you don't like, or is it like I strongly dislike it? Like it's.
I think it causes a emotional response that might result to a physical. Well, not like you going to fight somebody, but like you freeze up or you start crying uncontrollably, or it takes you back to the place where that traumatic experience happened. Like certain people who get into car crashes, they can't drive because they just get tensed up, or they just get into passengers. So I think that's like the medical term.
Passengers for life is that what?
Maybe. I don't know. Or people who like been, I don't know, like I don't know if triggers is the same thing as PTSD.
I think it correlates or something like that. I think it relates or something like that.
But yeah, I would assume that's what it is. But you know, nowadays triggers could just be things you don't like.
I don't think I have triggers. I'm trying to think of one. Like, I mean, I think I have, like, there's something that I told my lady, which is not an issue for our future, God willing. I said, because I took care of my father, I'm not doing that, like, again. So, I'm not saying, like, something was to happen to her or something was to happen to my potential in-laws that I wouldn't help out, but I wouldn't be in the trenches as I were, because it's I don't think it's a trigger. I can't say it's a trigger because I haven't been put in that situation again, but I wouldn't like it. So it's my goal to make it like very that whatever happens to us in the future, that I'm a higher help. I always say when it comes to parents or things like that, somebody you got to take care of, a loved one, it's best just to spend that bread, because you are left with some traumatic thoughts, you know, some things that a parent wouldn't want their child to see, no matter what age they was at. I guess that could be a trigger for me, but I can't say it is because I haven't been triggered. I don't think I have PTSD or anything like that. But besides the N-word, is there's like a like, did you say if a?
I mean, I was joking.
But I'm just saying, is there a personal experience that you can, that like you have in your years of living, that you can be like, this could be a trigger or anything like that, or you just like, it's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I have any real triggers, if I'm being honest. I mean, even like the N-word, right? Mm-hmm. So I think there's two definitions now.
Yeah.
I think it's the medical definition, which is like kind of relates to PTSD. Mm-hmm. Where if, you know, a vet hears a big bang, it might trigger them. That's not funny. Shout out to all my vets. I support all you guys, man.
Why do you say bang though?
I don't know. TV, movies, I don't know. That's what they portray in Hollywood. But don't blame me.
But you could have said gunshot, but you said bang.
Well, sometimes it don't be gunshots.
Really?
It just be like a boot drop.
That's not funny.
No, I'm just saying. Hopefully that didn't trigger any of y'all.
Please stop.
Oh Lord. But so you have those, like the triggers that, you know, is related to PTSD in some way. And then I think nowadays you have triggers, especially with Generation Z and TikTok and all these people come out who it's like the whole depression movement. Yeah. Like everybody's depressed. Like you sad for one day, you have depression. It's like it's like, you know, everybody wants to be in this, because like you said, it's like this whole mental wellness movement, and I think everybody wants to be a part of it. And so now people are saying, I have triggers, where it's just like, I have things that kind of piss me off, you know, to a larger degree than a normal human being, maybe. And it's like, all right, but is that a real trigger? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe, and definitions are allowed to change. So for me, I might have the Generation Z triggers, like the N word. Somebody called me an N word, and that's not due to any experience I had, but just due to society telling me
that I should feel.
A white person calls me an N word. This is how you should feel over the years, and then now it's to a point where it's ingrained in me. When a white person calls me an N word, I don't know. Even if I'm like, don't react. I'm like, I gotta say something.
Okay.
Help bleep that out. Shout out to all my white folks out there, except for the racist ones.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Anyways, but yeah, so I think I have those type of triggers, but I don't have anything that's like takes me to an experience where it's like it was probably the lowest of my life. Maybe not having money in my bank account.
I was just about to say that. Like for I think for most people, at least guys that I've spoken to, like anybody who come from any and that's the thing about money. You didn't even come from a like go ahead.
Funny story. I don't want to put my mom's business too out there, but there was like money issues.
Yeah,
and cause I was thinking about that. I was like, cause I remember you saying you are the brokest, richest person I know. I was like, why am I like that? I think through my childhood, just seeing how much we struggled, to have money, like whether it was debt or whatnot. Like that kind of played a role in me. Like not having enough money or being in debt is such a weight on somebody that I never want to be in that position.
I feel you.
So I just live very below the means. I don't spend too much money. I don't get into too much debt. And I'm like, I'd rather live like that than live, you know, comfortably, not even comfortably, but live in luxurious, but with a whole bunch of debt and money problems.
Yeah, and I think that's the great thing about even our relationship. That I always say, because we met at the same place, we wasn't in our personal lives, we wasn't at the same place. When you went to Baltimore County or like on that side of Maryland, I was in the city. Yeah. Like I lived off the Alameda. So it's so funny how we can potentially have the same trigger or have the same mindset when it comes to money, because the same way as someone who doesn't come from money feel about money, it's the same way as someone who potentially come from a better perspective who doesn't have money. They both end up in the same place of, I never want to be in this situation again. I never want to be in a situation to where I can't pay this or I can't do that. But I was having a conversation with someone this past week, and they said that I triggered them. Now, the funny thing about that is I don't live my life to trigger nobody.
Yeah, you're pretty respectful.
Most of the time.
And if somebody says that offends me, you go out your way to even like try not to offend them.
But that's the thing about it. They did not come to me and say that this offended them. It was automatically met with a strong reaction. A reaction that I would say crosses the line of respect and disrespect. Go ahead.
Quick question though.
What's up?
Cause I just said you go out your way to not offend somebody, but if that's in their house, will you have the same reaction if they came to your house and was like, I don't like your walls?
I don't.
Or you like, can you take off your shoes? It's like, what? Why you don't like my shoes? Like, I don't have shoes in my house. It's like, oh nah, I don't like that rule. Like, you won't be like, okay, you could keep your shoes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little different when somebody comes into your space,
my space,
and say, I'm triggered by your things or your place to live on.
Yeah.
Your ideas. So I just want to give that.
Yeah. Like, this is
like, it's one thing to be in the open, in the public, in a shared space. It's another thing to be in a place where it belongs to them.
Yeah.
And it's another place to be in a place where it belongs to you.
Yeah.
So.
And basically what they said without giving too much details, rather, is that that a strong reaction I got that strong response because of the strong reaction based on something that I did. Mm-hmm. But I didn't do anything to them. Mm-hmm. Like, I know I'm talking in code and this can be a mystery, but my question to you is, if something is not personally done to you by someone, mm-hmm. is it fair to say that I triggered you?
Well,
or it triggered you?
Yeah.
Or I think it's fair. Or that triggered you? And now, because it's fair, because I do agree with you, yeah. How do you go about you being triggered by something that is not intentional by the other person?
Question, though.
What's up?
When Kanye West said being enslaved for 400 years is a choice, were people right to, like, are they okay? Is it okay to be offended or triggered by Kanye? And if so, could they go about it the way that most people went about it when it was like F Kanye? And Kanye.
I don't think. Here's how I think. I personally wasn't triggered by that statement. Mm-hmm. To me, I just viewed it as that's a dumb statement, and I just moved you moved on because I wasn't. I wasn't a slave. I mean, no, I'm
made that choice.
I wasn't a slave that escaped and heard Kanye say this and was like, you didn't know what I had to go through. Harry was waking us up in the middle of the night. I'm like, even though the history is close, but for us is we're so far apart in the sense of the actual being slaves. So based on history, I can say, Kanye, that's not a smart statement. Yeah. That was dumb. Yeah. But I didn't feel a strong reaction just to say, F you, Kanye. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I wasn't triggered by that. I can't really speak on that.
Can I go into detail with the story a little bit more? No
sure.
names.
Go ahead.
And so this past week, or I don't know when we dropping this, but sometime in the near past, a young lady that you know came into your DMs because you just dropped
the
episode.
Stop crying in public.
And somebody came into your DMs, not my DMs, your DMs, and not the podcast DMs, your personal DMs.
Yeah.
I make that very clear. It's one thing to talk to the show.
Yeah.
It's another thing to talk to you. And said, F you. Mm-hmm. Well, not just F. They actually said the word, but YouTube. F you. I would cry anywhere I want to cry. Or something along those lines.
Something along those lines.
And so I think initially you thought the person was joking because nobody
in their right mind
greets anybody, especially if you not even have a close relationship with that person. Mm-hmm. So you thinking initially somebody saying F you, I know you. I know you. So it's like you saying F me.
I'm thinking like you gotta be joking.
This is a joke. You're acting like you probably are offended.
But you basically
it's like it's a joke. It's like F you. Like how people be like, shut up. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Shut up. Like you thinking like they talking like that, not like shut up. Mm-hmm. Like whoa. That's a different reaction.
That'd be wild as I don't know what.
And so you go through the conversation with the young lady, and she's expressing her opinions about that statement. And then you ask her, do you watch the episode?
Or listen
to the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, why would I listen to it? Why would I listen to it? When you're saying certain things like this in the DM. And he's like, well, you should listen to it. It's a good episode. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, but it's kind of like, me seeing the headline. No, you was like, because you know what this is like? It's like you seeing the headline and you making an opinion off of just the headline without reading the whole article. She's like, no, it's like you reading the headline and you contact the author, and then you have a conversation with the author, and then you form your opinion based on the author and you conversation, and you decide that you don't want to.
And mind you, I haven't stated anything in the episode in the DM, because what's the point of me talking for an hour to repeat it in writing.
And the other thing is, she came into the conversation saying "f you," so it wasn't going to be a construction. Because if you took that the wrong way, it would have went left. Because you took it as a joke, it still went left. So it wasn't like you was going to get a. Whereas somebody was like, "Hey, what do you mean by don't stop crying publicly?" Like, because that's a little offensive. It's like, okay, well, watch the episode and then we can have a conversation.
Exactly. I probably would have explained it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I probably would have explained it without going into the details of what I really mean in the episode.
Yeah.
But if you come at me like that, I'm thinking you're like very, very serious.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's kind of hard to get smart with someone when they really coming with a question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But go ahead.
So I just want to give that backstory.
Yeah.
And so it got me thinking, if you're triggered, do you have a right to be disrespectful? And because I remember somebody else, I'm not going to put there because they still work at that company, but somebody else, there was a bunch of controversy in the company. And so the company had like a town hall, and everybody that was in that marginalized group came to talk to the execs. And the person was telling me how those people were just like berating the CEOs. They was going in on the CEOs. They was cutting off the CEOs or the execs.
Now, mind you, the execs and the CEO, they set up this town hall for them to
express themselves. And I understand a lot of times it's performative. Sometimes the CEOs are just doing it, or the execs are just doing it just to give them a voice, so they feel like they're being heard.
And that's important.
But sometimes they just doing it just for them to feel it, but they're not going to do anything about it. Sometimes they do that. So
really? Okay.
I get it. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like my friend, they was telling me how they couldn't believe it because it was like, these execs are being very nice. They not they hearing everybody out. They saying like, we're really sorry that you guys feel like that. And when they start speaking, somebody will cut them off and then start. And I was like, wow.
Now, the question, when the people were speaking to the execs, did the execs cut them off at any point?
No.
I just wanted to ask that question.
And so it had me thinking like, because, I've been on the other side. I'm no angel. I've been on the other side when I was offended, whether it was like in school issues, especially when the young black men who died. So I'm like, okay, there's certain places. So let me go into. So there was a young black man that died in our school, and then we addressed the president of the school at the school that I go to. And we was all really mad. It's like, how could this happen in our school? Blah, blah, blah. How did some kid just get shot in our school by a white guy? How did nobody investigate this guy after being reported? And so we was mad. And so I was wondering, are there points where you could be triggered or angry enough? You got the riots that happened, riots, protests, whatever you want to call it, that happened in 2020. A lot of people said that was justified because, they were angry. Other people saying, well, you shouldn't. And on both sides, it's not like one, Blue Lives Matter was like, no, this is not right. And then the Black Lives. No, those people that was Black Lives Matter who were peaceful protesters and say, no, rising is not good. Like, that's not what we do. But then you also have people that say people are angry. They're allowed to express their anger. So it's like, when is it okay to be triggered enough to, be disrespectful or violent or destructive? Or is it ever okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Let me speak on the rioting part, right? I don't know what side of rioting do I stand on. In theory, I stand on peaceful rioting.
Or peaceful protest.
Or peaceful protest, because that's kind of like a statement that kind of cancels out the other. Yeah. So in theory, I in logic, I stand on the side of peaceful protest.
Yeah.
But we have seen things move, and the needle move
a lot
when somebody throw a trash can that's on fire. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's like, and excuse me, sorry, hold on, I got one more. Right, and we've seen through our American history that they use violence to get their point across. So I don't know, and it's hard to tell who is actually there passionately because they're angry, or performative because they're angry, or just like I'm supposed to be angry. I may not personally feel angry, but the right response to this of injustice is anger, because that can happen to me. You know what I mean? But I don't think I view them the same compared to a personal trigger where you actually have access to someone personally. If you was to do something to me and to offend me, people are rioting in the street because they can't get to the Supreme Court justice because they can't have access to
the president.
So the only way to get the attention of the higher ups is to burn the city down. Yeah. That's the only way, you know.
And it goes back to your point. It's like if the person came into your DMs asking for a question, if you was rude to them, then they would be justified to be rude to you. And it's the same thing with the protests. It's like people have been protesting peacefully since the 1960s, 1950s, 1940s. And so it's like, how can, people have been seeing how peaceful protests get met. And so it gets to a point where it's like, we tried to talk to y'all. We tried to do it the legal way. We tried to do it with,
and then had dogs sent on us.
Yeah.
So it's like
nowadays people are like, yo, we got no. And then when you see the reaction of riots, where now people wearing body cams because of riots, and you got people, you have Juneteenth happening, being a holiday because of the riots. You have companies saying Black Lives Matter because of the riots. It's like, so if I hit you in the eye,
mind you,
you're not gonna talk to me crazy no more.
Now, mind you, everything that was said in the riots had been said peacefully in town halls.
You're right. So it's definitely different.
But I think what makes it different is the access that you have to someone.
Yeah.
If everybody had the president's phone number, or their lawmaker phone numbers and things like that, to where they could be like, hey, what's up with that? Or even in your example, with the president of your school, if there was someone that had direct access, and just be like, hey, what's up with that black young man that got killed by that white young man, and y'all ain't do nothing? It just seemed like y'all trying to just sweep it under the rug. You're not addressing it. Like there's a black community on this campus that feels some type of way, and in that, y'all didn't walk around. As far as I remember, I don't think there was I don't think there was a line that was crossed.
No.
I also don't think there was a line that needed to be crossed. I think eventually, y'all got the attention of them. But for me, when it comes to protests, rioting, it's very, to me, different when it comes to personal triggers. Because personally, I don't know what triggers you. Right?
Yeah.
So whatever your reaction is, it has to be an underlying of that person didn't know.
Yeah.
Because if I know what triggers you, then it's no longer me triggering you. It's me gaslighting you.
Yeah.
It's me setting off a firecracker. Because I know this gets a reaction out of you. I'm going to do this. But if I'm living my life and I'm not thinking about nobody and I do something not even personal to you, but something to trigger you, I don't think it's right for you and your reaction to disrespect me because you can't prove intent.
Also, it's hard though, right? Because it's like we have this whole culture where we don't want to victim blame, which is I'm 100% for, because there's been years of people blaming victims for certain crimes that happen to them.
100%.
So I get that. But there's also when do people take responsibility for themselves? And so what's that balance of being responsible for your neighbors? Kind of being your brother's keeper.
Yeah.
But also them being responsible for how they take care of themselves. And so if you know that certain things trigger you, like this podcast, maybe you should just unfollow, unsubscribe, and not watch it at all. Because there's going to be certain things that we say.
They didn't watch it. They was triggered by the picture. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So it's like maybe you do certain things that you just avoid those things, but but you did say something like, if I knew that this was going to trigger you, well, if I knew this was going to trigger you, that doesn't mean I can't use that title. I'm not trying to trigger you. Mm-hmm. I might know that this might trigger you. I might know that this might offend you, and if I bang with you enough, I might say, hey man, we about to put something out. You probably don't want to watch this because this might trigger you. You might do that, but it's your responsibility to do that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, it'd be nice to do, but I don't know if it's necessary to do.
Matter of fact, that's the perfect way you just said it. Like, people confuse niceness and necessary. It's not necessary for me to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
But it would be nice. But you can't operate and go through life with, it would be nice if you change the title or go into detail what you mean by that.
Yeah.
But is it necessary? And if I don't move off of niceness, that doesn't make me mean or even a bad person.
Yeah.
I just choose not to do, like, it's not necessary. So I have the choice to do something. Now, question. You use your friend, which I know, the example of their company. When it comes to a company or an establishment, there's a work culture that has to be established in the company. So everything, or even the environment of that company, of how they work, it's up to the executives to be responsible for that. Is it fair to say that a personal opinion of yours can trigger somebody? It's personal. Like, this is not a general, like this is not you're not the CEO of a building. This is just what you think, like a thought of yours. Like, hey, I think this. Is it fair for you to say that you're triggered by my opinion?
Yeah. I mean, we established that in the beginning, right? You're allowed to be triggered by anything. Like there's certain people on YouTube now.
Okay.
I could just say it.
I don't care.
Nah, I ain't gonna say it.
Oh, okay, you tricked me. You're a tricky guy.
But there's certain people on YouTube now that I'm like, when I watch them, I'm like, man, I ain't watch this, and I can just click off because it's just like it be pissing me off. I'm like, yo, you're not making any sense. If somebody said that, I'm pretty sure somebody said that black people are less smart than the rest of humanity. Mm-hmm. That would piss you off.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they was like, the scientific data. Like, they would be like,
and I probably wouldn't have a reaction, but don't take my lack of reaction of like me agreeing with them. I'm just very like dismissive of dumb things. Like, it's just like the way I move, and granted, maybe that's just the benefit that I have with life. If it don't matter to me, or if it's just something that's just dumb, I don't have to have a reaction. Like, and that's just me. That's just like, I guess that's just my sheltered way of living, to where like, oh, okay, black people are dumb. I automatically put that opinion or that person who said that, they're stupid. They don't know no better. And like, it's just like, I don't have no reaction to it. So that's why I'm like, I get what you're saying, but there's a lot of things that just like, oh, okay, this person don't know what he's talking about. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I get that too. But I think, just due to history and how, certain things came to be, it started with an idea. I think a lot of people are aware of that. So when they hear certain ideas, they get worried or they get nervous.
Yeah.
When it's like, especially if they have a big platform like some of these YouTubers.
Granted, I agree. It do take someone to be outraged by that type of toxic being spewed out to check that, to fix that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for me, I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I can maneuver through life as far as I know, especially the person not in power in my eyes. Like, I can do without that person. Yeah. I don't have to listen to that person. And I think the internet make us feel, because I follow you and you follow me, it gives this familiarity that's not true. It's not even close to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, in a platform that is, quote unquote, pushing you to comment, pushing you to give your opinion.
That's true.
Maybe for me, it was it was weird overall. But for me, I viewed it as more weird because I'm viewing it from how I would have reacted to it. I viewed it as, if I didn't bang with that, I wouldn't have just said nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, you get what I'm saying?
I would have kept it moving.
I just would have kept it moving.
Or I would have hit one of you guys up like, look at this.
Exactly. Like, so that's why I'm like, but is it, I guess I turn the question on myself to be fair. Is it fair for me for me to even feel any type of way? Because they shared their opinion on an opinion-based platform. You know what I mean?
I think that the issue becomes when it's disrespectful.
Okay.
It's not about opinion. If it was like, that's a dumb opinion, you might still be offended if you asked, do you watch the podcast?
Yeah.
And it was like, no. But it's like, okay. I mean, you just talking about the headline. Okay, cool. And then we can even have a debate about that opinion, whether it's dumb or not. But when you come in saying F you, it's like, you know, like if a grown man came to me and said F me, like, I wouldn't hit them, but I'll test it. I'll be like, what do you mean?
No, because
like you because now you talking violence.
Because but that's the thing about it. When it comes to men, I guess,
yeah,
words can actually get men like killed.
Triggered.
You know, bang. You know what I mean? So like, that's why I'm like, I guess we have a some men at that.
Yeah.
We know what to say and who to say it to and what not to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I grew up in a time to where I couldn't wear certain colors in certain communities and things like that. Or if I wore a certain color, I get questioned if I was this or if I was that. So imagine potentially losing your life because your favorite color is blue or your favorite color is red. You know what I mean? We're not even talking about you saying something. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, the weight of your words, especially if you're...
Are we contradicting ourselves, man?
What do you mean?
Because we just saying the way of your words might cost you your life. But we're telling other people that you're not allowed to be disrespectful if you're triggered by some words. So, but we just normalize that very same thing
in a way, but I don't think it's I don't think it's a contradiction. I don't think so. Because I think there's a universal language of what's disrespectful and what's not disrespectful.
Okay.
Right? People sharing your opinion is not there's levels. There's tiers to it, right? You being outspoken and sharing your opinion and even cutting off the executive in a meeting, yelling at the executive. That's level 2 disrespect. That's not even 5, you know?
Yeah.
But if the executive is talking, or if someone is talking, not even executive, and you call them out their name, the B word, you say F you cuss at them, things that you know, because
it doesn't matter who it is.
Exactly. Yeah. I think people not as dumb as people try to make them out to see. People know what's disrespectful because say what you said to, as you said to somebody else on the street, say it to your boss. Say it to someone.
Your mother.
Like so that's why I'm like, I'm not going to say we contradiction ourselves because we know what disrespectful is compared to freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, maybe I see it from your perspective in a way of maybe it's contradiction, but from my perspective, we know what disrespectful is.
That's true. I think, people try to muddy the waters with like, hey, like the whole N-word versus C-word for white people, like knackers, but without the
crackers.
Okay. With cheese. But yeah, so it's like they try to say it's the same thing because it's both racial, but it's like as a society, we know which one's really.
The funniest meme ever on CNN, they had a debate of which word is the worst. And they spelled out cracker, and they couldn't even spell out nigger on the screen.
Really?
They didn't spell it out. So it's like, I think we know which word.
Oh, I thought you was talking about that one TV show or parody when the guy was like, "Why can't we say it?" And then the newscaster, because they were both newscasters on the show, and he was like, "Well, you want to say it?" You want to say it? It's like, come on, you know I can't say it. Why can't you? You can say it. Say it with me. Nah.
But it's so funny. They was having a debate of which word is more worse.
Yeah.
When they kept saying cracker.
Yeah.
And when they addressed nigger, they say N-word.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all not even saying the word.
So y'all know.
So exactly.
So I mean, I think even back in the day, nobody wanted to be called an N-word. Now you guys all want to say it. Like, you call a white person an N-word, they would go crazy on you. It's like, what? What you call me? It's the worst thing. And now
that's crazy, right?
You call me a cracker. I'm like, I look white to you? Damn.
I'm like,
call me an Oreo?
I'm like, I need some sun, man.
So you know, people know what words, and even though you could say it doesn't make sense, the F word doesn't make sense. You know, like, what is the F word? Like, like,
hold on, which F word are we talking about?
Oh, not the game one.
Oh, okay. We ain't talking about the bundle of sticks.
No,
Okay.
That would make sense.
Okay.
Just to let everybody knows, the word with a bundle of sticks comes. They say it comes from. They used to burn people with those sticks. That's why they call them.
That's
that.
crazy, yo. Like, yo, the English language is wild.
So
bro.
that one's wild. But the F-U-C-K, I don't get it. I can say sex, but I can't say that word. I don't know. But we know if you say F-U, even though it doesn't make sense.
You're not saying sex you.
Yeah. We know that's mad disrespectful.
Yeah.
Just like the N-word, just like certain words that we have in our language. So when somebody comes into your DM saying that, it's not this. You're right. It's not the same as.
It's not.
Don't cry in public.
You're not coming in peace.
Yeah. It's like me saying don't cry in public is me sharing an opinion. You might be like, what do you mean by that? Yeah, you could be offended, but I'm not disrespecting you by saying that.
No.
I'm offending you.
I didn't even say a name before I said the statement.
But offending is not the same as disrespect.
That's wild.
So yeah. I think that's all I got on that.
Hey, look, that's all I got on that as well.
This is not no beef. Trust me, we only talk about topics. But I think it was interesting when you told me that story. I was like, oh, we have to talk about this. So this was all my idea, to tell you the truth. I really wanted to talk about this.
Truth be told, I have no beef. Because I'm just indifferent about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, I come from a place where beef is real beef. You know what I mean? Where you got to worry about your life. I'm not scared for my life or anybody else's. So I'm good, man. Call me Brother Love. Is that what did he call himself? Does he call himself Brother Love now? Or like, is that his name?
I think his name is Love.
Mr. Love?
I don't know. That sounds
Sir
weird,
Love?
though. I don't trust any guy named Love.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. You a weirdo. you do weird things on islands. You're like the guy with those gold masks.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like, Love, like, hey, call me Love. Like, nah,
I'm
gonna call you Mr. Smith.
I'm gonna call you Sean.
I'm gonna call you Sean.
I'm not even gonna call you Puff Daddy. I'm gonna call you Sean.
John, man.
Yeah, I think. Dang, his Sean Combs. I thought
Sean Combs. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where John comes from. Maybe that's his middle name.
I'm confused, but
Sean Combs.
But blessings, man.
All right.